Welcome back. With the volley of crisis thrown at us daily, you'd be forgiven for thinking South Africa is the worst country in the world. But the country remains attractive to immigrants. Granted, most are from the continent, but many from the developed world are also seeing the grass is actually greener on this side. eNCA contributor Mpho Lakaje attempts to find out why skilled foreign nationals choose this country.
1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 4.
Beautiful music, food and friendship are just part of the package. The main reason Sabrina Cortabaria is here is to ensure that her tourists who've traveled all the way from Costa Rica enjoy the true African experience. Cortabaria herself is from Latin America. She arrived here in 2001 from Buenos Aires in Argentina after seeing South Africa by chance on a pamphlet.
I saw the brochures, all the photos of Hazy View, of the hotel, of the Kruger Park, and I just fell in love with it. I thought, oh my word, if I could go there.
Still here.
Okay.
It wasn't just wishful thinking. She made contact with a hotel owner in Mpumalanga who was in Argentina at the time and asked him for a job in South Africa. Fast forward 2 decades later, she's a Johannesburg resident who owns a company that brings tourists from Spanish-speaking countries to South Africa.
I think here having Spanish and Portuguese are really good skills for me in this country, and therefore I can get good jobs, or now that I am in tourism, I can use those tools. But in Argentina, I'm not sure what my life would have been and how would I be doing economically these days.
And she isn't the only one who feels this way. Claire Alexander left Scotland in 2007 after the energy company she was working for encouraged her to take up a post in Johannesburg. But when things didn't work out in the big city, she still chose to build a network and settle in South Africa. Today, she runs 2 successful companies of her own in Cape Town, operating in the marketing and events management spaces. She has no desire to return to Europe.
What I love about South Africa is South Africans are some of the most entrepreneurial people I've ever met in my life, and that's another reason why I feel so at home here. You know, I'm an out-and-out entrepreneur. Like, I relate to so many people here who are fixing the world's problems with entrepreneurial solutions in like all industries.
Speaking of entrepreneurs, let me introduce you to Zachariah George, a man who made his mark as an investment banker in New York. He came to South Africa for the 2010 FIFA World Cup with the idea of staying for 6 weeks. And guess what? He's still here, running one of Cape Town's successful venture capital companies.
What I found in South Africa back in 2010 when I came here was absolute beautiful hospitality. The people were just so welcoming. People celebrate and champion diversity here in South Africa unlike any other place in the world. And I've been to 84 different countries over the world, so I'm quite well traveled. And this is now the longest I've ever lived in any one particular country.
Okay, let's leave George and Alexander in Cape Town and shift our focus to Johannesburg.
How are you guys?
At a private medical facility in Morningside, Dr. Mary Ruhani sees up to 14 patients a day. She's a dermatologist who left Iran back in the 1970s due to political conflict. At some point, she and her family stayed in the UK and had the opportunity to live there permanently. But when her father received a job offer in South Africa, they relocated and have never looked back.
I chose to stay here and not go to Spain or the UK or Australia or Canada, because that's what they are. They're other countries, they're not South Africa. And I just feel, you know, there's so much about Africa and the Africans that I really, really love.
One of the things that truly speak to her values is the strength of South Africa's constitution.
I just love the freedom we have in terms of religious freedom. You know, it's democratic. You're not told to wear a veil in this way or that way. If your veil is 2 centimeters this way or that way, you put in prison. If they catch me telling you about the Baha'i faith in Iran, I'm in prison for 8 years. So, you know, I love the freedom of speech in South Africa.
It's a liberty that has gotten many people in trouble in a country like Zimbabwe. This is why Faith Narara left her home and brought her skills to South Africa, a country she knew would allow her to dream beyond limits. Now pursuing her doctorate in business administration, she runs Solid Beginnings, a school she founded in 2011 and now boasts 5 branches.
South Africa is home now. I'm not looking at going back to Zimbabwe at any point. Reasons being because of the work that I've started in South Africa. I could have gone to other countries because right now as I'm speaking there are opportunities of going to the UK again and all that, of which I qualify, but there's no way I'm going to leave the work that I've established.
All the foreign nationals we've introduced to you aren't isolated cases. Research by organizations like Statista and others shows that South Africa attracts the highest number of immigrants in Africa. With their skills base, they could be making a living anywhere in the world, but chose our country. Now, if you look at the challenges we face as a nation, it makes one wonder, is there something they are seeing here that we aren't as locals? Mpho Lakaje, Johannesburg.